Well, hello there, my Zanculios. Today we are going to be taking a look at some animes. I just spanked my ass cheeks until they were so red I unlocked the new Blood Demon art. That allows me to instantly start glazing these animes as soon as I hear the first syllable of their title. Jokes aside, these are obviously animes I have seen, so with that in mind, if I don't mention an anime, it is most likely just because I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to name every anime I haven't watched, but some of the more notable ones would be My Hero Academia, One Piece, Bleach, and many others. They are ranked in a specific order, that just being my watch order. None of these, in my opinion, are necessarily objectively better. I just think that these moments really solidified them as an iconic story. And the moment I shifted from really enjoying the show to loving the show and being enthralled and captivated by the world and characters, theme, the imagery, and so on and so forth. So enough wasting your guys' time, let's jump right in.
「なぜそんなに時計を気になさってるんですか？」
ああ、これはですね、キラだから。
Deathnote was my very first anime. Up until the point in which I watched this incredible narrative, my impression of anime was limited to One Punch Man, Naruto, Dragon Ball, just flashy lights, punching, and weebs. So having this be my very first anime was an incredible experience. I finished this show in 2 or 3 days, if I remember right, and I was just laying in bed until like 3, 4 in the morning, could not stop watching, and I vividly remember watching this my very first night, and the scene when that clock ticks and he's like, "I'm Kira." Oh my god, I remember going, this is incredible. This is a unique story I haven't seen yet. I didn't think anime could pull something like this off, and I have never, ever been more grateful to be wrong about a stereotype. The tension, the color palette, the voice acting, the snowfall, even the detective walking right on by, those little moments like he was so close but so far, just brings the tension and compresses it until it just blows up with the look in Naomi's face when she goes to kill herself. I went from thinking anime was tatabayo to kill yourself, and the way he just rubs it into her face saying, "Oh my, you can call my dad now," and she's like, "I have something I have to do. I don't care about that right now." It's just so damn haunting. Not to beat a dead horse, but I will never forget watching this scene for the first time.
Mr. Tucker, when did you first get your state certification? Let's see. It was 2 years ago.
Nina and Alexander, where are they? I think if you watched anime for a while, that line in particular is something that has stuck with you throughout the course of any anime you have watched. My brother begged me for a long time to give Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood a chance, and this being my second anime after coming off the high of Deathnote, I was so excited to jump into something new, and my brother has always recommended bangers, so we gave this a chance. And when we got to episode 4, that is when I had that moment of, this show is so layered with depth that I was blown away. I was thoroughly enjoying the characters, the tone of this show, since it was such a drastic shift coming off the heels of Deathnote. And I'm someone who does like dark storytelling, so I was feeling the vibe of the lightheartedness with like a hint of darkness, and then 3 episodes later, you get slapped in the face by Shao Tucker and this whole mini Chimera arc. So it was an absolute blast. And my brother and I, we used to get drunk while watching stuff like this. He had already seen Full Metal, so he was excited to watch my reaction, and the way my jaw dropped, because this is one of the few like popular anime scenes that I didn't have spoiled. So I had no idea this was happening, and I will never forget the shock of drunk me, like almost spitting out my drink like, what? Just the line of Big Brother Ed is something that sticks with you. It really does. And I don't think I need to yap about this scene, because if you've seen it, you just know the way it makes you feel, your skin crawling and desire for more storytelling. And then add the intoxication on top of that. Oh my God, I wish I could replay that memory or reaction to this show. Nina will always have a special place in my heart, because it all ties together at the end of the show when you realize a simple alchemist couldn't even save a little girl.
You can't even do anything to save one innocent little girl. So what good are we then?
Hunter x Hunter was the first time I really started to understand the hype behind anime fights. I saw that with the Hisoka and Gon fight, and I was half tempted to I was really stuck between this scene and that scene in terms of which particular one made me really feel like this show finally has an identity that I'm really enjoying and just feels unique. But that's also the same episode where, well, if you've seen Hunter x Hunter, you know what I'm talking about. So it just would have been a little weird to say that was my favorite episode, or that was my first moment that really stuck with me, because that scene did in fact stick with me. Yeah, not in hey, did you guys know that bungee gum has both the properties of rubber and gum? Dropping the veil of sarcasm and jokes here, Hunter x Hunter really felt like a whimsical, fun, buddy cop kind of anime in a way when I first started watching it, and I was thoroughly enjoying the show. There wasn't a single episode up until this point that I felt was boring or the show was dragging, because it's just so fun seeing two diverse characters who are so unique personality wise and opposing personalities, that it creates such a rich dynamic between a very alive world that you just want to go explore yourself. You want an MMO or an RPG set in the Hunter x Hunter universe. And then you get to this particular episode, the fight between the goat Kurapika and, okay, look, Uvo kind of the goat, not gonna lie, and seeing this show get as dark as it did, where I'm just gonna say it, he fucks up Uvo, alright? He got royally cooked. I'm already on the dopamine train of like, wow, that was so entertaining, that's so cool. My brother's going, oh, you haven't seen anything yet, wait till we get to this anime, blah blah blah, or this scene. And this motherfucker pulls out a fucking shovel. And before we even get there, the first thing Kurapika does after smoking this dude is call up the homie and be like, hey, yep, all good here, what's going on, while he's just dead behind him. It really made me feel much like Full Metal, where I felt like the gates of depth opened up. This show can be fun, it can be funny, it can be childish and whimsical, but it can also be dark and mature. And that's what's so great about Hunter x Hunter. It was at this point in the show that I felt the tone of the story revolved around the character it was focusing on, until you get to the Chimera Ant arc, but we're not going to talk about that. That was just, whew, that was something else, man. No explanation needed. So this anime made me appreciate animation, but I think that goes without saying. So my brother is hyping up like, bro, you ain't ready. He said this a lot, and granted, all those times I wasn't ready, but I was like, all right, what could be so great? Because I was loving Demon Slayer, it was so entertaining, so funny, and then this shit fucking happens. Like, are you serious? Like, who animated this? God? I won't go off glazing and giving my reasoning for choosing this moment as the one that made me really fall in love with Demon Slayer, because it goes without saying, but I will tell you a story. That being, we were watching Demon Slayer, that being me and my brother, we were drunk, blah blah blah, having a great time, laughing, And I had to go to work the next morning to Kansas. It was our last episode of the night. I called it. I was tired. I was getting tired, and I knew I had to go to bed soon. I had to wake up, go to the airport. From the moment the music started playing to the moment the credits rolled, I kid you not, I do not think I said a single word. I don't think I breathed. My eyes had an orgasm. I'm like 99% sure. I don't remember. I was kind of drunk. But either way, I remember being so flabbergasted, so bojangled by what my occipital lobe was perceiving. I think I fell in love with anime as a whole in this scene. The music, the animation, the visuals, the colors, the fluidity, the choreography, the character, like everything that could make this scene worked. Like it was literally the perfect concoction. And it was the first point in my anime journey that I said, nothing's gonna top that. Oh boy, was I wrong, and I'm glad I was. Like even now I'm still at a loss for words. I can rewatch this scene over and over and over and over and over again. So before I wrap up this segment, yeah, I ended up going to bed. That episode was so powerful that my brain was running out of RAM to process that shit. So I was in Kansas for 2 weeks, refused to watch the next episode without my brother, rewatched that scene probably 100 times on the plane. I had to wait 2 weeks to see what happened next. And imagine my surprise when I do get back to Cali, I watch the next episode, and this dude lower 5 is still alive. I'm like, bro, yeah, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go rewatch this scene again.
そろそろだわ。伏黒も釘崎も五条先生は心配いらねえか。長生きしろよ。
Jujutsu Kaisen, man, this show is something else. Season 1 was so hilarious. I was laughing right off rip. I mean, the whole, he ate it? Really? Like, that whole exchange, he's taking photos of Megami and shit. Like, there were so many funny moments in the show where he's like, I see. I don't get it. Like, I'm laughing thinking about them. And then Yuji just dies. Granted, some of those scenes did happen after the one on your screen right now, but my point is, I was loving how funny this show was. That is what sucked me into Jujutsu Kaisen. It's humor, it's characters, and of course Gojo. But then the main character dies. That was the first time in an anime where I believe the main character died so early on, and I was like, what? Like, what's gonna go on now? Like, I'm so confused. Where is the story gonna go? I genuinely did not expect him to come back to life. I thought maybe this was like a throw off, like you were supposed to believe that Itadori was the main character. And for context, probably the main reason I thought this is because I knew there was Jujutsu Kaisen 0 and that the real main character was supposed to be Yuta all along. I hadn't seen the movie yet. I just heard about it, so I thought maybe Yuta was going to come in later on and something, I'm not sure. But yeah, that really made me go, okay, so you can be funny as hell and you can be serious. You can really make me care about these characters and have these characters be dynamic and be changed by each other. I think Megami was changed by Itadori, as we see him kind of admit in this scene. So it's not just shock value. There's a lot of weight and momentum to it. I mean, pun intended, but there's a lot of heart in this scene too. It also hits harder when you have read the entire manga like I have at the point in me recording this. So maybe I am a little biased there, but if I'm focusing on just my first time watching, didn't know everything that I do know going forward, this scene really made me go, sit up and be like, okay, so we have a funny, serious show. Like, where is this going to go? It had me interested, not just to see what happens next, but to see what direction the show goes in tonally. And I hadn't felt that way with the show yet. Maybe a bit of HunterxHunter, but this is episode 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen. HunterxHunter took 40 episodes to get a little dark, and then you get to the Chimera Ant arc, which is like 100 episodes later. So yeah, I just think that this scene did a lot to pique my interest, but also make me care about the characters on a more serious note.
Wow, you cleaned up.
Yep, I knew it was my lucky day today.
What do you have in the sack?
What do you have in the sack? Less talking and more portaling.
Yes, sir.
You guys, I'm laughing just like rewatching that scene while editing. I vividly remember watching this for the first time. Black Clover is one of those shows my brother and I, we both hadn't seen, and we're like, oh, let's just give it a chance. We're drinking, and Yami was always the one to make us laugh. He's like, I'm taking a shit here, can't you morons tell, or blah, blah, blah. And he just comes up and just just like mocks and beats a dick to Finral for no apparent reason. Never made this voice before, never mocked this guy before, had no reason to be a dick like this to Finral. He just walks, oh, what's in the sack? Like, it's just such a funny, I mean, from that point on, I was like, I love the show, we gotta keep watching. That's it, that's all I needed. 10 out of 10 show. Yami is so incredible, probably one of my favorite dub performances, and the show never stopped making me laugh, or making us laugh, and it just got better. I just remember thinking the show's like, all right, where's this going? And every single time I'd be like, okay, it's kind of dragging. There'd be a super funny scene, or they would start introducing new concepts like the elves, and then you go into like the demons and the devils and stuff. So this show from this point on really just said, nah, okay, I gotta give it a chance. This shit's so funny. And sometimes you don't need a show like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or Deathnote that's super rich with storytelling and character work. Sometimes it's nice to have a different kind of anime, which Black Clover in this regard was the first for me, where it's just mainly about, you know, just shut up and enjoy the show. Just shut up, enjoy the fights. There's great moments, don't get me wrong, character-wise, emotional driven moments, don't get me wrong, but this was definitely the first time I watched an anime and I was like, I could just shut up, have a good time. I don't need to think too hard. You could argue that with Demon Slayer, but the thing with Demon Slayer is that the animation's so beautiful, you just have to respect it. So it's a whole nother game. But yeah, for sure, Black Clover, this moment really made me go, I can just have fun. I'm allowed to have fun, not think too deeply about everything. Not everything is imagery, not everything's foreshadowing, and just laugh, have fun. That's what anime is supposed to be about. So Captain Yami, best team captain ever.
What do you have in the sack?
This was the first time and only time I have ever watched an anime, and the first episode didn't just hook me into the show, it immediately made me feel like I'm 100% going to watch the entirety of the show. The music alone initiated an orgasm in my eardrum so intense that it became like a IRL version of like Bethesda fight music, to where, you know, when you're in a tense situation and like music starts and you just know something's about to go down. In real life, when something's about to go down, I hear that, like, it just starts playing in my head. Like, I'm like, oh shit, something's about to go down. We're all fucked. We're cooked, gang. And the, like, bro's mom gets eaten right in front of him, a little boy. And you see fear. You see characters like, oh, I'm going to be the hero. And you know, this guy's dead. He's like, no, I'm too scared. I run away. Never seen that, like that amount of realism in an anime. Like, I'm blown away. Attack on Titan to this day is my favorite anime of all time. I will die on that hill. Ooh, that pun intended, running up to that tree on the hill. No, I have nothing but great things to say about this show. Particularly, this is one of the best first episodes I have ever seen. It probably is my favorite first episode of any anime. I just don't know how you watch this episode and aren't at all like, this show, like, I have to see what happens next. When I finished this particular moment in Attack on Titan, I'm pretty sure I realized there's actually 11 commandments in the Bible, and the 11th being, if you do not watch Attack on Titan, you just go straight to hell. That's how much I love this first episode, and just the show in general. I have nothing, like I said earlier, but amazing things to say, and I can make a whole video on that. But this scene alone just really showed you this show is not here to play. This show is here to fuck you up emotionally, and it takes you for a ride. It really does. It just goes to show this is in a league of its own, and Attack on Titan to this day is still in a league of its own. So if you've watched and finished the show, I know you feel the same. I just don't understand how you finished this first episode and you're just like, nah, this ain't for me. Go and watch Teletubbies, buddy. Go watch The Wiggles. Eat your fruit salad. Goddess Sayama is the GOAT. So yeah, there are some moments from animes that I feel just sucked me into the story, made me feel like this is something that's going to be truly special and memorable. And memorable they have been, because I have such iconic memories tied to these shows, to these scenes in particular. And there are quite a few more animes that have given me the same feeling. And if you want to see a part 2 to this video, go ahead and just leave a comment, leave a like, maybe let me know an anime that you would like me to check out and watch. And I hope that you guys really enjoyed the moments that I picked picked out, and perhaps there's a moment from these shows that you also have a fond memory of or made you fall in love with the show. I'm not going to drag this on much longer. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.
Subscribe to Zang Helios for some more frickin'